Hello everyone and welcome back to Learn with Chris Designs. Okay, so today I want to talk about the left sidebar, right, which contains the layers and assets. Okay, so basically, let me start with these pages. Um, you can create more than one page in a single file, in a design file, for example, and just say you could. And if you create a new page, it automatically opens a new canvas, and you can also rename it. Just say you built the first page on light mode, and you're building the second page on dark mode. So you can do that, right? You can rename uh, the pages, right? Yeah. So let's go back. So that's that about pages, right? So let's go to layers. What are layers? Layers are simply the way objects in our canvas are placed, and how are objects placed in our canvas. Okay, they are placed on top of each other. Don't worry, I'll get to that. But for now, let's see um, something in our. Okay, let's say this is our home desktop, right? So if I open it or just drop down to see what's inside, you could see the groups, you could see the text, second text, the frame, and if you notice by the left edge, they have their symbol for groups, they have their symbol for text, they have a symbol for auto layout, and let's say they also have a symbol for frame, right? Yeah, that's also helpful. And each of these are stacked on top each other. Let's create a new frame so that you can better understand um, what I'm talking about. So this is the frame, and let's put a rectangle. I put a rectangle and give it a feel of black. Okay, you see that it's here, and if I should draw an ellipse on top of the rectangle or a circle, you see that it comes on top of the rectangle. Okay, so that's that about layers being on top of each other, right? Yeah. So what else do I want to show about layers? Okay, I think you've mentioned all. So the next thing on our list is the assets, right? If we have an asset, um, we don't currently have an asset. Let's quickly drag this, and in cases where you create a component, you see that you have a local asset, right? And you can just click on this, and it takes you to uh, your asset, right? And don't be scared about components. We're going to treat them in details when the time comes, right? So this is basically all about the left side panel, right? Okay, thank you. Hello everyone, welcome back to Learn with Chris Designs, and in this video I want to teach you guys about, I want to talk about the right sidebar, right? In the previous video I talked about the left side panel, right? Now I'm talking about the right. Okay, what it contains basically, your you you can actually communicate through audio. If you're collaborating with team members, you can communicate with them, like they'll be hearing your voice. You can just be discussing. Once you connect with somebody, you can activate this, right? Yeah. And we have the preview of present. um if you recall, I once dropped this snippet earlier, and let's see that. Okay, uh let's make it a fixed width and height, right? Yeah, so that's your preview of the prototype you've done. Okay, and share, you can share your file, you can share to uh, you can add specific email, you can copy the link and send, and also you can make some further settings. Figma give us the liberty to password our file, right, so that it doesn't get to the wrong hands, right? Yeah. What next? So you see, we have a design and prototype. Yeah. Um, for prototype, you see, don't worry, we'll get into details, but let me just put your mind that yeah, something like this exists. You see the flow point. This is the starting point. The interaction over after delay and moves to this page. Yeah, you can also include kind of like a frame. It could be a desktop, a mobile, an iPhone 13. Those frames, like those frames we have here, you could make use of them as something framing this. I'll show that later on. Let's not get too distracted. Okay, and here is the zoom setting. You can zoom in. You can always see the shortcut, right? Yeah, and for this your canvas, you could play with the color, right? Just say you can make it white. I mainly use kind of like dark colors, right? So that's just that. For variables, we'll get to that. For styles also, we'll also get to that. For exports, you can export your file, right? Export as PNG, JPEG, SVG, yeah. And what else is there? Nothing else for now. So let's quickly see this side as a property panel. It's a property sidebar. You could call it a property panel, right? So let's go to this. Once you click on your frame, you get to see all the properties it contains, right? See that frame here. This should be setting it ready for dev. Like once you have completed, you just click on that. And we have our component. To create components from this, like the way I did with the button. Yeah, don't worry, we'll get into detail with components. Let's not get distracted, okay? And we have I call this contextual tools. This selecting matching layers. This components, as I've mentioned. This masking. Get into that. This kind of like boolean operators, right? Yeah, boolean operations. You have union, subtract, and statistics, exclude, and flatten. Get into that soon. They have a position. If you click on an object inside our frame, you see where it's positioned on the x-axis, on the y-axis. You can align left, center, right, up, middle, center, then bottom, right? You can also, there are more actions like tidy up, horizontal spacing, that type of thing. And we have the angle. Let's click on this. You see it's on 0. Once you click on anything in the canvas, you see the property. You see when I click on this, the properties are not the same, right? Yeah. And if you tilt this, you see some changes going on, right? Yeah. So that's that. The layout. This is a new feature. This free form. This to vertical, but that's not a problem. We'll also get into that, right? I'm just trying to show you what the right hand side panel contains, right? You also see the width and the height. And clip content, you can make the width and the height fixed, lock the aspect ratio so that it doesn't go. So if you're scaling it up, it scales maintaining the same ratio, right? And also the appearance, we have 100% opacity. If we take it to, let's say, 50, you see it reduces, right? And also these are the radius, the border radius. If you take it to, let's say, 50, you see the curves. Let me zoom in. You see the curves by the edges, right? Yeah, so that's that. Okay, the feel, you see the feel of this frame. Yeah, okay, and check so you can show it in export. For stroke, you can add stroke, let's say white. Let's make it a bit visible. Let's say 20, so you can see. You see that on the edge, and you can make further settings or further edits to them, right? Yeah, let's go back. Effects. You could add effects. Let's click on the button so you could easily see the effects. We have 4 types of effects. Oh, it's already increased. We have about 6 now. We have inner shadow, drop shadow, layer blur, noise, texture, background blur. Okay, we'll get into that later on, right? Yeah. So that's we have our colors. Like if you click on this and anything, like if I click on this frame now, you see more colors. All the colors we use would show. Layout grid, we also get into that. You see this. You see the margin by this side. We'll get into that in details. Export, as I've mentioned before, you could export as JPEG, PNG, XVG, and PDF. And finally, you can preview what you clicked on right here. So guys, that's that about the should I call it the properties panel now. Yeah, see you in the next video.